Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Alphonso Davies. Yes, I know that it sounds so strange for me to say that on a Barcelona channel, to say that Alphonso Davies has been linked to FC Barcelona. I woke up to the news and I'm like, did somebody put something in my drink? Am I hallucinating? Am I dreaming? Is this even real? But yes, it is real. It says here, according to Gigantes FC, that there was a meeting in Barcelona between Deco and Alphonso Davies' agent. The agent was in Madrid and the next day he met with the Barcelona sporting director, which was again Deco. Now let me give you guys some context on why Davies is even being linked to FC Barcelona. So look, Bayern Munich, they're going through a crisis. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Bayern, but in their past 3 matches, they lost all matches and they have not been doing great all season under Thomas Tuchel especially. And so there's so many players that are underperforming at the moment, and you can just get a sense that this team right now, Bayern Munich, are going to go through a restart for sure in the summer. They're going to be saying, okay, you have to go out, let's bring in 3 new players, very similar to how Barcelona is going to be approaching this summer. And so they are looking at letting go of Kimmich, maybe De Ligt, maybe Upamecano, and maybe Alphonso Davies, which is why Barcelona is being linked with the player and why the agent of Davies has met with Deco. Now, Davies has been eyed by Barcelona before. Like, this is nothing new. Like, Barcelona at one point wanted Davies, and Davies was also very interested in joining FC Barcelona. But the reason why Davies did not go to Barcelona back in 2019 when he was linked and he was like 18 years old, it was because supposedly and reportedly he was Canadian. The president Bartomeu said, we don't want Canadians in our football club because supposedly maybe Canadians at that time were not considered good. Even Davies confirmed this about 2 or 3 years ago on a podcast, and this is what he said. Barcelona approached me, but the president said they did not want me because I was Canadian. I'm not going to lie to you, that hurt my feelings a little bit, that I was Canadian. I don't know if he actually said it, but it was being said. Now, not even I can confirm whether this is exactly how Bartomeu thought about this operation, but if it is true, man, has this been probably one of the biggest mistakes that Barcelona have done in their history. And you know what's crazy is that a couple of months before this event happened, and before we found out that Barcelona rejected Davies at that time, one of the legends of Barcelona, who is Stoichkov, also recommended for Barcelona to sign Alphonso Davies from Vancouver Whitecaps, from the MLS, because that was his previous team. But Barcelona did not listen. And then fast forward a year later from that day, when we found out that Barcelona rejected Davies, he finished Semedo. Like, he finished his career. Like, we never heard of Semedo after that point. Like, Semedo got so humiliated by Davies that, like, Semedo left, like, the next morning. That was the day that Barcelona lost 8-2. It was humiliating for everybody. And that is how Alphonso Davies made his career, and how everybody knows Davies today is because he had a masterclass performance against Barcelona on that night. And so it was a big mistake. And so you know what hurts more than seeing Barcelona trying to connect 2 passes, or seeing Barcelona passing from Julian Alvarez, is the fact that they have passed from Alphonso Davies back in 2019 when they could have signed him for about 30 million euros or 20 million euros. But they did not do that. And also recently, Gerard Romero also wanted to add further details regarding this operation, and it says here that Alphonso Davies' agent spent 3 days in Barcelona. On Thursday afternoon, he met with Deco. The player's agent was asking for a 12 million euro net salary plus bonuses. And that's very interesting, because if we are actually going to be agreeing to paying Alphonso Davies 12 million euros net, right? Not gross, but net. If we look at our current wage bill, you would place Alphonso Davies as the 4th highest paid player in Barcelona. The only 3 players that would be able to earn more would be Frenkie, Lewandowski, and Gundogan, and right above, Jules Koundé. And I'm going to be very honest, based off like what he gives and his skill sets and how great he is as a left back, this is a very low salary. Like, he does not need to be asking for 12 million euros. He can ask for more because of how great he is and what he does provide on the pitch. Like, he's not out here saying, okay, I want star money, give me 32 million euros gross a year, or like 35 million euros gross a year, or maybe even more than that. Like, really think about that, because if we take away, like, let's say for example, Frankie de Jong's wages from our wage bill, you can fit 3 Alphonso Davieses in the wage bill. Like, isn't that insane? Like, if you take Frankie out, you can basically sign Alphonso Davies and 2 other players at the same level and the same quality of Davies. Or maybe we can take out Lewandowski and add in Alphonso Davies with another player that would cost us 12 million euros. Or Barcelona can take another route. You take out Rafinha, who costs 12 million euros a year, and then just add Davies in. But do you guys see the point here is that Davies is a great player. He can be very impactful, and he can definitely fit in the wage bill. It is very much doable. Now, here's what gets very interesting. Knowing that he can fit in our wage bill, let's also talk about his transfer fee, because it has been recorded back on December 2023, according to Transfer Market, that his value is at 70 million euros. And I believe that once we go into the summer of 2024, he is only going to be having 1 year left in his contract, meaning that his value can decrease a little bit more. So it is very much possible that Barcelona can negotiate for 60 to 65 million euros for Alphonso Davies. So let's keep that in mind. 60 to 65 million euros that we would have to pay to Bayern, and then also accept the fact that we would have to pay Alphonso Davies himself 12 million euros a season. There are going to be many people that will be saying, but Kevin, this is not worth it because we still have Alejandro Balde. Alejandro Balde is our version of Alphonso Davies. And so let's talk about that. If we compare Davies and Alejandro Balde, you can see that Davies is superior in defensive actions, also with progressive passes and also the aerial percentage. In terms of carrying ability with the ball, they're almost the exact same thing. Now you can see that Balde is superior in terms of like dual percentage one, maybe also in expected assist, but that's about it. Alphonso Davies is the clear upgrade and he would be that instant impact on the left flank. But what if I told you that there could be a different plan? What if I told you that if Alphonso Davies does come in, there is still a way for Balde to start with Alphonso Davies? What if the sporting plan could be about Davies playing as a left winger? Because in that way, we would allow for Balde and Davies to share the same left side of the field. And you also keep Balde active and getting as much minutes as possible for him to become the best possible player. Because let's remember, Davies has played as a left winger before. He has experience playing in the attack, and he has done that with Canada recently before. Bayern Munich initially signed Alphonso Davies back in 2019 as a winger. Like, he was known to be as a player that can strengthen the attack. But then the left back of Bayern Munich, David Alaba, got injured, and then Bayern Munich said, okay, we're going to have to use Davies as a left back. And from there, that is where it became history. He became a great left back, and Bayern Munich were like, we're going to have to keep Davies on this certain position because he's performing amazing. Even Davies, about 8 months ago, stated this: I was signed to replace Aaron Robin. But when David Alaba got injured, I was then used as a fullback, and now 3 to 4 years later, I'm stuck here. He also stated that he is still waiting for the chance for him to play further forward. So his whole idea and what he wants is for him to play in the attack, while at the same time maybe sometimes being placed in the left back position. But this is the reason why you see him attacking so much, is because he loves it. He loves going to the final third. And I believe that this is where Barcelona can make that great offer and say, we can guarantee you playing time in the attack, while at the same time, we're going to need you on the left back position. So maybe 70% of the time you play in the attack and 30% of the time you play as a left back. And on Barcelona's part, in our end, you would be banging 2-in-1. You strengthen the defense, and also you would also strengthen one of our weakest areas, which would be our left wing position. Because one of Barcelona's weakest links is the central defensive midfield position, also maybe the center back position, but most importantly, the left wing position. We don't have a real left winger that we can depend on and the correct profile, someone who can stay out wide and make those overlapping runs, somebody who is fast and athletic. Barcelona don't have that, but with Davies, they can do that. It is very much possible. So the fact that Davies can take on both positions whenever we need him, that 70 million euro price tag or 65 million euro price tag or 60 million euro price tag is justifiable. Can you imagine going for Nico Williams, who would cost 55 million euros, 15 million euros less than Alphonso Davies, but he cannot play the left back position? Can you imagine also maybe signing Leao for 90 million euros or 110 million euros, who is going to be costing 20 to 30 million euros more than Alphonso Davies, and he cannot play as a left back? Davies is a very special case because of what he could do and where he could play. So that 70 million euros is really worth it in my opinion. So I can see a starting 11 that contains Koundé, Christensen, Araujo, and Balde on the back line, with a midfield of Zubimendi, Gundogan, and Gavi, and then our front three being Davies on the left wing position with Vitor and Lamine Yamal as the other attackers. That starting 11 could exist, and we can always change that starting 11. We can always rotate. We can have Davies as a left back and play right next to Ronald Araujo, and then our other left winger could be Ansu Fati or Joao Felix or whoever Barcelona decide to sign or use in that position. Davies and Balde can complement each other very well, because you and me know this, and we have talked about this before. Balde is a player that likes to run inside. He's not necessarily a player that likes to make those overlapping runs, try to take on a lot of players. He's not that type. He likes to run inside and then look for the assist. Davies can be the one making those overlapping runs, while Alejandro Balde runs inside. Davies is the one that can stretch the pitch for you and be very comfortable out wide. So this signing would be phenomenal for Barcelona. Now our only competitor will be Real Madrid. I don't know how Davies still thinks about Barcelona. I don't know what he thinks, whether he should go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, whether he's still a Barcelona fan or not? Does he hold that grudge that he gained back in 2019? You know what I think would be very important for Barcelona if they truly want to go for Davies, like if they're all in and they go with this sporting plan, is if they sign Hansi Flick and have him become part of the proposal that we can present to Alphonso Davies to convince him to not go to Real Madrid and to sign with FC Barcelona. Recently, there was a report that stated that Barcelona have scheduled a meeting with Hansi Flick in the coming days. They want to discuss his principles and targets. So can you imagine if Hansi Flick comes in? Barcelona would have a key deal there. They can say, hey, look, Davies, we can guarantee you some attacking minutes. Your salary is also going to be guaranteed with 12 million euros. You would be one of the highest paid players at Barcelona, and also you would have your previous coach, Hansi Flick, the one coach that brought the best out of you and made you who you are today. And so let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think about this signing? Should Barcelona go for him or just forget about it and still have our priority be the pivot position? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.